Hi friends, how are you today? It's Sharon Hankins here with another live DIY project for you on Essential Stencils page. I'm from the blog I Restore Stuff, where I love to upcycle furniture and home decor. And so I love to do some of these fun decor projects. Today I'm going to be doing some upcycling from a couple of things that I found at a local thrift store. So now I've got a little jar, tiny jar. These dishes are really great. I think it came with jam in it or something, or a dip or something like that. These are great for using for paint or your brushes or a little wash. So I thought we'd go and maybe use this colour Woodwick. We could use the chocolate of Fusion to create a bit of a wash. I have been liking using Woodwick lately. So I'm just going to take a whole clump of this Woodwick colour and mix it around in my water here, and that's going to create a bit of a stain wash for our box. Let's go to the base of our piece, which is always a great idea if you're wanting to feel out whether you've got enough wash in your paint in your wash, is to go on the base and just have a little test there. So I do find that this will soak in quite well. So I won't be sealing it straight after. I like to let it sit and dry properly. I can put it out in the sun to dry properly before we finish. So there we go. So now and this is what it did look like. So you can see the difference there in the finish. So let's get our lid just to finish that off as well. All right, are we ready to get stenciling and crafting today? While that's drying, air drying a little bit. So finished with that, we'll put our brush in the water. Let's bring our bucket over here and decide on some transfers. So we have our pink roses, which would also look cute. We have our rustic summer flowers, which I've cut out some of. But look at that, that looks really cute, like so. We could even add a bee from somewhere, like this little bee over here is by himself. You could add that. There's little leaves you can add. That with a big bee sitting at the top there. I think that will be perfect. Now, this does have ridges in it, so we're going to see how we go with these ridges. Remove the backing. My bucket rolled a little, so I've just got to stabilize it. You could stabilize it with something else or just your hands. So I'm going to put it down there, and I'm going to start with one edge, and then, okay, so now I'm getting my tool. Sit back down. I'm going to go over this edge now so we can make sure we get all of these edges on. If you get stuck, you know that on the Essential Stencils website and any of their transfer products, there is a video there, and that's me showing you how to transfer. There we go, look at that, perfect. And I love how you can kind of still see those ridges of the bucket underneath. But this is what I'm doing now, is just going over, making sure every ridge that's smoothly laid down and not coming up anywhere in between, okay? So it just gives it a nice finish. What do you think of that? Okay, so moving on with our box now, and I do think that we will use the cup of tea stencils. This one's called My Cup of Tea, if you want to write that down. This set is called My Cup of Tea. Okay, so earlier, if you've just joined us, we have stained this with a nice Woodwick, the colour from Fusion that's kind of a brown colour. We watered it down, created a little stain wash for our wood box here. But this one has these cute teacups and saucers, which would fit perfectly along this one side. I did grab a few little vibrant colours that might be fun. We've got the Fusion's Alchemy range with a bright pink called Raspberry. We've got Sunset, this gorgeous bright orange. So there's a few different bright colours there we could use for the teacups. Thistle. All right, using one of my 1/2" brushes, just going to grab a bit of casement white. It's one of our brighter whites in the Fusion range. Always make sure that your brushes are completely dry when you use them. Otherwise, when your brushes are damp or slightly wet, you will get it creates runniness on the paint, and then you'll actually get bleeding underneath the stencil. Let's see how that turned out, and then we'll have to, there we go. And then we can move our cup of tea, our stencil slightly over and get these words in. So what I want to do is now put this tape on the cup of tea side. Let's see how that looks. Kind of evens it up a little bit. What do you think? Kind of makes it look like heart and heart. You are my cup of tea. You could just leave it like that. How many think we should add some colour? I'm opening the coral, guys. Let's have a look. So the colour is called Sunset, and it's alchemy type of paint, which is a chalk finish by Fusion. So we've got that white in the background now. Okay, that's given us a nice little pop of colour in the centre there. I just want to paint the pink heart in this cute raspberry colour, just a little pouncing. Grab the polka dots. We won't worry about doing the tape. Oh, that's cute. I think I like it. Gives it a little bit of a pop of colour with just those two colours there. I could also do maybe the coral on the hearts and kind of make those be a little bit more accentuated. But that gives you a great idea of some things that you can do with the stencils, with also staining. If you missed that part, we stained the box using a paint wash and showed you how to create that. And if you missed our first project, I'll show you here in a second with the bucket and some transfers on that, which was a fun idea. Let's put these brushes in my water there. And thank you so much, guys. And our first project over here was our bucket, pink bucket that I found at a thrift store, just plain pink like this with little ridges on it. And we added a transfer. We added the transfer. Yes, you can use my code iRestoreStuff when you get the brushes too. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you again next week for another fun live. And don't forget to follow me at iRestoreStuff on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, all of the places. Love you guys. Bye.